Welcome everybody. This is the first show of 2014 Firehouse Cuisine. I'm your chef, Kipp Rix. Now for those of you that have been watching, you can tell we're in a brand new location here. And I'm proud to say this is my kitchen, Firehouse Java and Cuisine, located here in Farmington, New Mexico. It's been a long road getting to where we're standing right now, but I can guarantee you it's been a fun road. Some people I need to thank first and foremost before we go any further. Pinwell, thank you for letting me join your group, do these cooking shows, cooking articles for you. It's been a fun ride so far, and I'm definitely looking forward to what we have in the future. Second, my fire brother, Eddie Sell, out of Long Beach, California. Several years back, Eddie and I met online, and we bonded really fast. Eddie started a group called FirehouseChefs.com. He kind of sparked my interest into getting where we are today. So brother Eddie, man, I appreciate you. Then a local friend of mine, Daryl Workman. Daryl makes custom knives. You're going to get to see how this beauty works. I'll show you close-ups of it later on. But he's made this specifically for our cooking show. It's got the fire emblem on it, everything. So what we're going to be doing today is going to be a salad that's based off of a ceviche. Now for those of you that don't know what ceviche is the best I can describe. It's kind of like Mexican sushi. It's using raw fish, raw shrimp, seafoods that are cooked in the acids of citrus juices. Today we'll be using lime specifically. Along with that, I'm going to be doing a Mexican style slaw. Healthy meal. I hope you'll enjoy it. We'll get cooking here in just one moment. Once again, thank you for joining us. Welcome back everybody. So while you're gone, I started doing a little bit of prep work to our seafood. What I have here is right at a pound of cod, and I have another pound of raw shrimp. And like I said, don't be afraid of the rawness. The meat of these is actually going to get cooked by the acids in the lime juice that we'll be adding to this in a little bit. So let me go ahead and finish dicing these up into the bite-sized pieces. Now these are just a small shrimp. You can use whatever size you want, but you can go ahead and dice them up just like I said into the bite-sized pieces. As far as a fish, you want a white fish that has some body to it that'll hold together. And the flavors of this when it's done takes you back to the Bajas. You got nice citrus flavors, seafood flavors. This stuff's to die for. Okay, so what we're going to do, go ahead and get my shrimp added to this pan. Then we'll add the fish. Clean up here a little bit. Okay. In here I have the juice of 4 lemons, 4 large limes, not lemons, 4 large limes. We're going to add 1 more. Awesome. So we'll go ahead and we'll add. What we have here is right at half a cup, just over half a cup. Pour that in. Let's get the lime juice mixed all inside this. Okay, before I add any other spices to this, I'm just going to set it aside and let it rest. Then we can get started on doing the slaw. Okay, so all that seafood's resting in the lime juice. Let's go ahead and we'll get started on this cold slaw. Now this is just a bag of finely cut cabbage. So we'll go ahead and open it up, get it put inside the bowl here. Now you can either cut your own or like this, I get bagged. But the big thing is you want it cut as fine as we can get it. Lets it marinate faster, better flavors. Okay, so we're going to start out with some olive oil and some apple cider vinegar. So what I'm going to add to this to start out with is 1, 2, 3 good spoonfuls of the apple cider vinegar. Now I may have to come back and add a little bit more just depending on how it turns out. Then what I want to do is add 1.5 tablespoons of a good quality extra virgin olive oil. So I'm going to get in there with my hands. We'll get this started to mix up. Oh, it's looking good. I think I will probably have to add a little bit more of the apple cider vinegar here in a minute. But we just want to make sure that we get a good coating over all of the cabbage right now. So that apple cider vinegar is going to get in there and start kind of almost wilting this cabbage and start helping blend the flavors. I'm going to step over and I'll wash my hands. Be right back. Okay, we're back. My hand's a little bit of a dry. So let's go ahead. We're going to add 2 more tablespoons of the apple cider vinegar. So there's 1, there's 2. Okay, next thing I want to add into this, 1/3 cup of a Asian sweet red chili sauce. So we have that in there. The next thing we're going to add is, clean this up a little bit, dry it off. So we're going to add about 1/2 of a tablespoon of coarse ground black pepper. Then we're going to add, same thing, 1/2 tablespoon of a granulated garlic. And then just to give it a little bit of pop, we're going to add about 1/4 of a tablespoon poppy seeds. Get these up out of the way. And last but not least, we're going to add just a handful of capers. Capers I love because they give it that little tangy like a pickle, but they also add some salt to this. Grab a spoon, and we're going to go ahead and give this a good stir. Make sure everything gets distributed way, way, way good. So now we have the tartness of the apple cider vinegar, the saltiness of the capers, and then there's an underlying sweetness by using that chili sauce. Same thing with this. This cold slaw can be made a day or 2 in advance. The longer you can let it sit, the better it gets. But as long as it has a good hour or 2 to sit, we're going to be good. Awesome. So let me go put this away. We'll be right back. We'll start the next step. Okay, now that we have our slaw resting, let's take a look at this. This is the ceviche. Now I've poured out about 1/2 of the liquid that we had in there before. So go ahead and take a look at that. You can see how the shrimp is already taking on the red colors of being cooked shrimp. It's not opaque anymore. It's starting to turn white. That's showing us that the acids have done their job. The meats of the fish and the shrimp are completely cooked now by the acids. So now it's time to start building our flavors. What I have here is some cooked crab meat. We're going to go ahead and add that. We've got about 1/4 pound. So we'll get that stirred in. Then I'm going to add 1/4 tablespoon granulated garlic. We're going to do a 1/4 tablespoon rough ground pepper. Then we're going to do a 1/2 tablespoon of Mrs. Dash Fiesta Lime Blend. Now let's give this one more stir. Get all those spices now blended in there. Once again, the acids from the lime juice are going to help extract the flavors of those spices and start helping marinate those into the meats now. Perfect. Okay, so take one last look. You can see now everything's blended in there. And what we're going to do is we're going to set this to the side, let it rest once again. Now, while we were away, I started thinking, what would really go good with this? Well, I've got 2 nice little fillets of tuna. And so what I'm going to do is I have a spice rub that we're going to put on these. And we'll go ahead and pan sear them and have a seared, very rare tuna steak. Join me, we'll be right back. Okay, now we have our ceviche is holding on its last. It's about done. We're just waiting for flavors to meld. Number 2, we've got our cold slaw holding, doing the same thing. We're letting flavors meld on it. I just looked at it a minute ago. It's already starting to wilt down some. It's going to be perfect. We'll show you that in just a minute. So now, let's get our tuna started. So what I have here is I have a spice blend. I have 1 tablespoon of smoked paprika, 1 tablespoon black pepper, 1 tablespoon garlic, a 1/2 teaspoon salt, and 1 tablespoon of a citrus blend seasoning, whatever one that you can find out there. What we're going to do is we're going to sprinkle this on the tuna. Before I do that though, let me go ahead. What I have here is 2 tablespoons of butter, just a little bit of olive oil, which will help keep that butter from burning. Let's go ahead and get it going so it can be nice and hot. Now remember, on this tuna, we don't want to cook it all the way through. All we're going to do is season the outside. We're going to put it on. We're going to sear it on all 4 sides, leaving the center nice and rare. So butter's getting hot, melting nicely. So while it finishes up, let's go ahead and we'll season these tunas. So all I'm going to do is just take and liberally sprinkle this on the tuna. A little bit on both sides. Any excess, we'll just let it dust off. Get our next one. Same thing. Just a nice liberal dusting. Set it to the side. We'll go wash out my hands real fast. Okay, back. Butter's quit bubbling. Starting to brown just a little bit. It's exactly what we wanted. So let's go ahead and take our tuna steaks. Put it in there and get a nice sizzle. We'll grab a clean plate here. Okay, now that those are searing up really nice, a couple other things that we need to do to prep up. I've got some bell peppers. We'll pop the tops off those, pull the seeds and stems out. That's what we're going to serve the ceviche in. Goes perfect with it. Nice little pepper flavor to go with that ceviche. The other thing we need to do is we're going to dice up some real fine diced avocados. I've got 2 really nice avocados. Last minute we'll dice those up. We're going to chunk that in with the ceviche and we'll serve it. Let's go ahead and check these tuna steaks. Oh, perfect. We got about 2 minutes left on this side. We're going to shut the heat down, let it rest for just a sec. We'll go finish prepping up that other stuff, then we're going to plate this up and eat it. Keep following me. We'll be right back. Okay, tuna steaks are done. Get these set here. Let's go ahead and start getting this thing plated up now. So we got a couple of things that we got to finish up. Number one, our avocados. Got some already here. We'll finish these up. We're just doing a little dice on them. I think when you try this recipe, you're going to be really impressed. You're going to like it. And we got a little bit of a surprise here, a little bit. Got somebody here that I'm going to surprise with something. Okay, so we have our 2 bell peppers. We're going to use the orange, use the red. So what we want to do, we're just going to slice that top off. Don't waste. I won't use these right now, but I will use them later. What I'm going to do is just go ahead and pop the center out of these. We'll get all those veins and seeds out of it. Then the other thing I want to do is I'm going to set it. This one sets pretty good by itself. It sits good. We'll try this red one next. And I have pre-washed these. So we'll get the centers out of these. Same thing, make sure it sits good. This one's a little wobbly, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and slice just that bottom off. Guess what? Now it sits nice and neat. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bring the ceviche over here. We'll get these 2 on their plates. I'm going to go ahead and dump in this avocado. Let's give it a stir in. Oh, that's looking so good. Okay, just because I am such a huge fan of capers, I love these things, I'm going to go ahead and add the rest of this bottle right in there to the ceviche. That'll give the ceviche the last little taste and give it a little bit of that salting that it needs without adding extra salt to it. Great, so that looks good. We'll go ahead and grab our slaw. It's nicely wilted. Cool, so now let's go ahead and we'll start plating this up. So I'm going to start out here with the ceviche. We're going to go ahead and we'll grab one of the peppers, and I'm just going to start spooning this in there. Pack it down a little bit so that we can get as much as we can get inside there. No need to skimp on this. Remember, this is a good healthy meal. First one. Let's get this red one. You notice I'm using a slotted spoon. I want to leave as much of this juice behind as I can. That way this pepper doesn't feel full of just juice. Perfect. Get that set down. Set this off to the side. Let's plate up a little bit of the slaw on each one of these. Give it a stir. Get things mixed up one more last time. So we'll throw a little bit of slaw right there. Throw a little bit of slaw right there. And last but not least, one of these tuna steaks. Oh yeah, this is going to be good. So let's get it to the table. We'll have a taste on this. Follow me over there. Awesome. So here's the prepared meal. Sharing it tonight with my wife, who I didn't get to share a Valentine's Day dinner with because I was on shift. So, sweetie, happy Valentine's Day. So let's give this a try. Ceviche, tuna steak, and Mexican slaw. I think you'll like it as much as we do. Slaw is awesome. Has a perfect flavor to it. The ceviche fish, done perfectly. Let me get down here and find the piece of shrimp.
This tuna is awesome.
Shrimp's done perfectly. And the shrimps, the tuna, spectacular. So welcome to our new restaurant, Firehouse Java and Cuisine. Only one last thing that's kind of missing here. Diane, we sure could use some FDIC stuff to make our walls look better. Looking forward to seeing you this year at FDIC. Have a good day. Thanks for joining us. Bye.